Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today, this video is the first video of this series where we will be building a complete application of sharing code snippets. And in this video, we will integrate NextAuth, where we will handle the authentication flow. We will use Prisma adapter for connecting to the database and NextAuth. So yeah, let's get started. Let's first create a new project with next, and we'll use create next latest. Yes, my app name would be, let's say we'll keep it as share code for now. TypeScript, yes. Yes, linked, tailwind, src, yes. App router first. Let it create the project. So as the project. So first we will set up the authentication. So let's go to next auth and also open auth.js. Hmm, let's open auth.js. We'll go there, and from get started we will go to migrate to next auth, because here we will have our auth5 documentation. Let's copy this. First we have to install this next auth beta. So let's run that, and after that what we need to do is we need to add a configuration file, this auth.ts. So we will add this. Let's come up here, and under src we'll create a file auth.ts. Yes. What does it say? Let's copy this and paste it here. I will not use Google. I'll just have it like this. Okay. So auth is NextAuth is installed. If I come here, yes, the errors are gone. So this is the provider, and what I have to do is, after that I have to add an auth route. So let's add that. So follow this path. Let's just copy this and let's create this. So it will be under app API auth and then next auth. So we are already here. Let's create a file, uh, API auth, and this will be route.ts. Okay, so file is already created. Let's copy this and paste it. Okay, so we have this, and and this is it. Okay, so this is already there. This is set up. Now what we have to do is, this is for the terms. Uh, yeah, we will be using Prisma. So we will use Prisma adapter. We'll go to that, but let's first add some configuration. So we have to create an auth config.ts, where we will be managing all the configurations for authentication. So we will add all the providers and everything in here, and auth.ts will have all the functions and all the other functionalities for adding the adapter, handling the session, handling the JWT callbacks, token callbacks. So whatever we want, we will be doing there. So first, let's just add an auth config.ts file, and then we will start with Prisma setup and everything. So not here. I want to do it in src auth.ts. config.ts. Well, it's not right. Config.ts. Yes. Let's go there and copy this, paste it here. Yes, and then I don't need this now. Here for providers, I'll just copy. I'll just add auth config here. I don't want configs the providers from there. So I'll use all the providers from here only. So now in this project, we'll just use GitHub. But if we want to add some more providers like Google or LinkedIn or credentials provider, then we can set up here, set all those providers here, and we will just have to pass it like this. So we are just spreading all the configurations which we have created there. So it will take it from there. And for this, now what we will do is we have to do few more things. I think, okay, this we will add. And what more we want? Oh, I think this is it. We have to add environment variables. So we will add those first. What we want to do is for maybe getting started for. Huh. So this is what I want. So let's create an env or env local first. Mm, env.local, and in this I have to run this command uh, to get a random secret code. So it will generate it from here. So this I think would be good for now. Yeah. So this is okay. I already have a database set up on Atlas, so we'll be using that same. And I want GitHub provider, GitHub ID and secret. So let's go to my profile. I have to put in settings. In developer settings, sorry, yeah, in developer setting, I can set auth apps, which I have already done. So my client ID and secret ID I already have. So I'll just paste it here. Just paste it here. So it is already there. And what more? I want database URL. So I already have a database created in MongoDB Atlas. So I'll be using that same. And yeah, okay. So this is the table name, and this is the. So it is already there. Now let's do one thing first. So basically we will add Prisma, and then we will configure the GitHub. Or maybe we can just start with configuring the GitHub provider, and then we can go ahead with Prisma, because it is just 2 line of code I have to add. So where we have this GitHub, I have to provide the client ID and client secret. So I will just provide it. It is in our environment file. I keep it. Let's get a ID, keep it. Also, I have to provide cap client secret. Okay. So this is it. Configuration for providers are done. We don't have to do anything more. So this is it. Now I will add Prisma, and we will set up Prisma adapter also. So let's go to that documentation. Let's go to adapters, and we will find Prisma here. Yeah. So this is it. So we have to add this first the Prisma client and Prisma adapter. So let's add that, and also we have to add Prisma as a dev dependency. So we will also add that. So we already have this variable in our environment file, so we don't have to worry about that. And once this is done, we will, yeah, we will generate a file there. So we will run this. I think for this we will first have to run Prisma init. Yeah, Prisma init is ran. Now we will just do this. I think this should not work because, yeah, don't have any models defined yet. Because we haven't changed anything. It is just the basic Prisma generator and we don't have any model. So that is why it gave us error. So we'll just remove this. We don't need that. And provider would be okay. Here we will use MongoDB. Database URL is okay. Now what I'll do is I have to, yeah, I have to get this. I have to take the schema. I mean all the models for Prisma. So here, as we are using MongoDB, so we have to do a slight change here. So for the ID, because MongoDB has an object ID, which is a BSON object ID, and we have to follow that convention. So this CUID is used in Postgres, which is if we have used Postgres, it would we wouldn't have to change anything. But as we are using MongoDB, so we have to change this. So this will be auto, and then it will be mapped to object ID. I mean underscore ID, which is the default field in MongoDB. So db dot object ID we have to provide. Now, yeah, now you see if that error is gone. So this is it, and we don't need this as we already have provided this as string, so we don't need that. So and what? We don't need session because we are not going to store session in our database. So that is not needed. Also, we are not dealing with any verification token as of now. So we'll just remove that as well. And also for ID, for every ID which we will, for every model, we have to follow the same convention because this MongoDB follows this object ID convention and we have to follow that. And rest, I think we don't have to change anything. We just want one thing to be added here. So I'll add a role and I will add an enum, and this will not be an optional parameter. So user and admin for now, I think that is sufficient. And for users, what I'll do is, so if that is not added, default would be user. But, because if user is user is just created. So once the user is logged in, it should not be like I have to specify, or I don't want to. I mean, it is easy to have that specified as user directly. I don't have to handle this for every other user. So that is why I have created this. Also, I would add created at field, which will be date time, and also that will default to now. So when the user is created, it will just update it. It will take that time. Also for updated, I will have that, and also Prisma provides a function for updated act, so it will automatically update the updated act time. when the record is updated. So we don't have to worry about these two. So that will take care. And what is here? Why we are getting this? Warning validating. Okay. Okay. So this is because we we have this ID as object ID. So that is why it is giving us error. So let's uh, define this as object ID. So now that error is also gone. We don't have any error now. Fine. So I think we have pretty much set up the user models. So we need this account for this model. Basically, the account model would be for handling the providers. So if we have multiple providers, this will contain all those information. So for maybe for as of I mean for now we are using GitHub, so it will take only GitHub. If we let's say had Google authentication also, or LinkedIn authentication, or Facebook authentication, so it will have all those providers associated with this user. So that is why it is being handled with this. I think yes, rest. I think we don't have to worry about anything. This will be enough for now. So let's do one thing now. Let's create a let's create a Prisma client. So I'll keep that in lib folder, and under lib folder I will add a db.ts file. So here what we'll do is we'll just import a Prisma client, and I will export it as db. So I'll explain why I'm doing this. So why I'm doing this is because in our dev environment, it will what happens is when we change the code, it will run again, and whenever it will run again, it will create a new client every time. Okay, so after every hot reload, it will create a new client, and it will that is not good for any application. It will just hamper our performance. So that is why if a client is already created, we will use that. If not, then we will create a new one. This DB will take care of this DB variable will take care of that. And for now, like for this, it is giving us error. So let's declare the type. So for this, we will have to declare a global, and inside that we will add Prisma client or undefined. So this is so we have fixed this error as well. Now, what we have to do is we have to add one more check for development mode. If it is not production, then global this dot prisma is D. So here, first what it is doing is in DB it is checking if global this has the Prisma. If not, it will create a new client. And for production, I mean, if for the development, if it is not in the production mode, so it will store this DB variable in global this Prisma. So we can easily access it. We can easily access it from global this. So here this check will be true, and it will have the value from the global this. If for the first time only, it will create a new client, and rest all the reloads and everything. I mean every time it will have a value from global this, and it will return it from there. So our client is ready. Now what we have to do is we have to go again to the auth file, auth.ts, and we will add we will update our update I mean we will add our configurations here. So first, let's add the adapter, and this will take Prisma adapter, and this will take DB, which we have created. So this is from the DB. Let's just do this. I mean, let's say I like to have my imports like this way. So yeah. And after that, I'll add a session. So how we want to add our, I mean, handle our session. So we will be using JWT for this. This is fine. Now what we have to do is let's take this at top. Now what we have to do is we have to add our callbacks. Okay. So why we want to handle? So I mean, what we want to handle basically here is we will handle session and we will handle JWT. So for session, I mean for JWT and session, we will just add the role of the current user uh, to the token and in the session so that we can easily access those in the application. So let's add those. So first we have to update JWT because it will return the token, updated token, and that token will be accessed by session callback, which can be, updated, which will help to update the session. So for in this, we have first have to check if the token exists. So token.sub is basically the ID which we will be receiving from the GitHub. So that is it. Let's return it. So the error is gone. So now what we have to do is the first thing is we have to check if the user exists in our DB or not. So if not, then we have to just return the token. So if the user exists, we will add the role and the user ID. So basically the role to have, I mean, a role in the token so that we can easily access that from that in the session. We can add those in the session. So for that do uh, we have to do one thing. We have to add an action. So let's add an action here. Uh, Under app, no, let's not keep that under app. Let's keep app for the pages only. And I'll just create a folder, common, and then I will add a function. I mean the actions folder. So all our actions will be stored here. And now I will give this name for user data ts. This is, oh, sorry, that created as a folder. I don't want it as a folder. I want it as a file. User data.ts. So now let's do that. Basically, we don't have to have this as a action, user data as an action, because it will run by this adapter. I mean, ran here, so it will be run on the server side only. So we don't have to explicitly call it as a use server or a server action. So we'll not do this here. What we will do is we can maybe, or let's keep that as it. Let's keep this here only. First, let's import DB, and now let's create our function. So this will be get user by email. So what we will do is we will take our email or get our user by email. and because we have that email as unique, so we will track it by the email, and we will just return the user if we have it. So let's add a try catch block, and in catch we just have to, I don't have to uh, handle anything and just return a null. And now let's add one check. So if we don't have email, we'll just return a null. So if the email is not passed, so it will just return null. And if I mean, let's say if email, then db dot user dot. Okay, I think I have to run generate function of Prisma. So I'm not, because I'm not getting that. Let's run that. Yeah. Now I'll be getting all these functions. See, I've started getting error and it is taking it from the Prisma client. So now I will have to add my where clause, and my where clause will be for email. So if email, with email the user exists, let's take it in one line. Yeah. So if the user exists for this email, it will return that user. If email is not passed, it will return null. If the user is not passed, or if it has any error, it will just return a null. And if the email is passed but user is not found, this will return null. So we have this function ready. Now here what we want to do is, let's add uh, let's add our check existing user. Let's name this, and I have to wait for get user by email. This is it. Yes. And now token will have the email. So if token, and it will have email. Now what happens is I'm gonna type string null undefined is not assignable to parameter of type string. Action. Okay. Okay. Mhm. So skip this. Let's fix that. If we don't have the existing user, just return the token. And now if we have an existing user, then we have to add add a new field for in the token. Also we will add the user ID. So this token has this sub. This is from the GitHub ID, but we want to add our database ID for this particular user. So we can add the reference for the code snippets. So that is why we have to add this in the token as well. So JWT callback is ready. Now let's add a role in our session callback. So session, this takes session and also the token. Let's return session, so the error is gone. Now what we have to do is, if token has role and session has user, then we will add session.user.id is equals to token.id, and session.user.role equals to token.id. So why this? I'm not going deep in TypeScript now. Yes. Mm, so this is it. So our callbacks and auth tokens are ready. So now let's just have a look. So in our env, okay, it is added as a thing. Yeah, okay, this Prisma added this. We don't need this. Just delete that. So here we have auth secret. This is required for next auth. We have GitHub client and GitHub secret, and also we have the database URL. So we don't need anything else now for environments. Let's now run this application. Or basically first, before that, I think we have to do some more things. So, okay, so auth configurations are done. We have added our provider. We have added the auth config. All the callbacks and everything is ready. Uh, and I mean, for login and sign up, Prisma will take care of it. We don't have to worry about this. Now what we have to do is we have to add a route check. So we will do that now. So we will add a middleware.ts. We will handle our I mean all this I mean route checking in middleware. So first I'll just add a matcher. So this matcher I have took from clerk. I mean that matcher is really nice. It takes care of everything. That is why I have took it from there. I've had a good review about this. So that is why I've took it from there. And now what we have to do is I have to add a function for auth. This auth will have a function inside it. This will have a request. So I think I have to add my auth from auth config. Yeah, this is okay. Okay, this is okay. Mm, so first I'll just extract the URL. So that will get it from next URL. So current URL will have this will have the current URL which is being accessed. So first thing is I have to add a variable for is logged in. So if the user is logged in, we will check it from this. So we will get this in request auth. So if this has value, then the user is logged in. If not, then it will be false. So this is it. And now what we have to do is let's return a null for now. Now I have to add one more file, and this will be for routes. Basically, this will be a constant kind of file which will have all our all types of routes we want to take care of. So first I will add a public route. Okay. So what all pages we want to keep as a public. So I want public routes as my home page would be public route, and what more. So let's add afterwards, uh, and then auth routes. This will be string of array, I mean array of strings, and then my auth route will be login. Okay. So if we have, I mean, in our in this application, and as we are using NextAuth, so we have our we get this as API. Like we have already created this under API auth, and we can get providers from here, and we can get a lot of other configurations from it. And also, it when we click on the button for login, it under the hood it makes a API call to API auth and the provider name. So that is why we have to have a control over this as well. And after that, I want have this as the default login direct. This will also be string, and let's keep this as maybe as a home page. I'll just keep the user in the home page, and other pages it will check for the routes. So now here what we have to do is we have to add the checks. Okay, so let's start with API auth. Okay. Then public route, public route stuff includes. So I took all the values, and these will be boolean. So this will also be boolean, and also for all these, it will this will have uh, this will be a type of boolean. Now let's start adding. So if the URL which is being accessed is an API auth route, so let's just return null. So we don't have to do anything. Let it pass. So and if this is an auth route, if this is an auth route and uh, user is also logged in, so I have to nest this because I cannot keep it with and or over here. I have to have this check over here. So if the user is, if the route is auth route, I just have to return null. I don't have to do anything because on the sign-in page or login page, if the user is accessing a login page and user is not logged in, so I don't have to worry about it. I have to let user to access the login page. So that is why I am returning it as null. And inside this, so once that, let's say, user is logged in, trying to access login page. So I first have to check if that user is logged in or not. If the user is logged in, then I have to send the user to the default login direct page. So once if not, then I'll let the user access the login page. So this is what we have to do. And now I have to construct the URL. For redirecting, I have to construct a URL. This is the convention which Next.js also wants. And uh, for creating the complete URL, I have to follow this. So yeah. So now this URL class will take care of this. So this is the path where we want to go, and this is the complete URL which will be then taken care of and which will construct the complete URL. So localhost 3000 slash login, it will create the complete URL and redirect the user to there directly to that particular URL. So this is also done. And in case of user is not logged in, let's say the user is not logged in and is trying to access a an authenticated page, so protected page. So whatever protected route we have, we don't want to show that to the user, right? So if the user is not logged in, basically. So now what we have to do is response a redirect. We will construct a URL again. This will just use this slash, and also we can just send it to here only because we are basically keeping it as slash URL, which will be the home page, and we'll be displaying all the snippets there directly. So that will be the public page, and so just keep it here. So if let's say I want to access a dashboard or that kind of thing, or maybe let's keep it here and let's add this as a feed. So once the user is logged in, he or she will the user will be able to see this feed page, and let's add it as slash. Maybe I'll keep login and in the same page. I will not have it have a different page for this. Okay, so public routes would be our slash page slash. I'll just add an about maybe for now. Just just add an about. Then auth route would be the login slash root page of our application. API auth prefix, this already have set up, and so after logged in, user will get to the feed page. Let's create a feed page first, and I'll maybe group the routes now. So all the protected routes would be here inside this. So I'll create a feed page, page.tsx. Let's go default function feed page. Okay. Just return a simple HTML for now, so that we can check this. So feed pages we have added, and now what we have to do is we have to add a login button there. So this is the main page. And the home page basically, and we don't want this, we don't want all these. Just remove this. Okay, just remove this. Now what we have to do is we have to add a button. We have to add a button, and we have to do our login functionalities and everything. So for that, I think before that I'll add shared cn, because we are using I'll be using shared cn for this product. Let's add that. Let's initialize a project with that. Default will be good. Slate, okay. Business variables, yes. Okay. So ShardCN is added. I'll add some components from ShardCN, which will be button, obviously card. I also need input, label, mm, mm, text area. Also I need it. Avatar. I will need. So these are the basic ones which I want. So till the time it is being added, okay, so that is already added. That's great. So let's do one thing. First, here is we will be using GitHub. I mean, as we are using GitHub icon, GitHub login here. So let's add that. This button would come from components UI button. Yes, I don't need image here. Let's check first. Components, yes, it is added inside the UI. Perfect. So this is added from ChatCM. Now I will use GitHub icon. Why is it showing duplicated? Lucid React. Let's go to Lucid React and check why this is not even. Let's check for GitHub updated GitHub. I okay. So I just use GitHub, no GitHub icon. So let's GitHub is what we want. This is also showing duplicated. But why? Why they don't have GitHub now? Mhm. Yes. Yes. It's updated. This has some other icon. No, what is that? Okay, let's use it. I think this should not be a big issue for now. Maybe afterwards we can add something. Signing with GitHub. Yes. Okay. Now what we want to do is we have to add an event handler which will take care of the logging. So for this, what we do is I don't want to take the function from uh, server action, or maybe I can take it from the server action basically. So I'll take it directly from uh, auth method. This is it. Yes. And what I'll do is on click, I have to basically add a separate function. I cannot add it directly because this function is in a browser. This has a browser event, and for calling it directly over here will give me some error. So let's add that inside a function, and now I will call this, and I will call it GitHub. Okay, so this should work. Let's fix the imports. So from node modules and find relative inputs. Now let's run the application and check if we are able to log in or not. So this is ready. Let's go to localhost 3000. Okay, so this is yeah. No. Okay, so button is basically button from chat scene is a client component, so that is why we got this error. Let's just change that. I don't want to get into a lot of unnecessary changes. Let's use it as a client component. And now I have to update this. I will not be using it from there. I'll be using it from NextAuth. And yes, I think this will work. This should work. Yeah, we have this. So let's. I'll just open my MongoDB compass. So here we don't have the table ready yet. I just have created a database and I've not made any query. So if now we will uh, create our user, it will add the tables. Or if I run a command for db push, this will create tables. So let's run that db push. What happened? Environment variable not found. Okay, so it did not take the local environment. It did. it did. Let's check the variable name. Let's check this. Database URL is correct. Uh-huh. Okay. Okay. This should work actually. Let's okay. This is not taking from the computer. Okay. Maybe I'll just rename it to PNV and we'll check. Now I'm run my server again. Taking from USB. Yeah, it is now used. It is now created. So I'll just run my application again. And if I refresh this, it should have the tables. Yes, accounts and users we have. So it have the table definition ready. Now let's click signing. Let's check. Okay, great. So now I was able to log in, and I'm once when I've logged in, so I am able to access this feed page. So like as we have as I have mentioned about middleware when we were creating middleware. So for the tables, for the routes basically, so this is a public route we can access about. Uh, we cannot access slash route because this is an auth route. So let's check this. So we are already in the feed page. Now if I try to access about, so this is giving me error because we don't have the about page currently, but we are able to access this. If I go to slash route, it is redirecting me to the feed page again. So that means the middleware is working. That is working fine. So we don't have to worry about this. Okay. So now let's create uh, our actual functionality. So the authentication is done. We already have that. It just to confirm, I will also check that in database. And yes, I have my user role is also defined. This email verified will take care of this as well because I mean we can just maybe remove this or we can add a default timestamp here because we are using GitHub and that is a very it has all the verifications done, so I don't have to worry about email verification from now. If I would have used credentials provider, I I had to check this personally. I mean, not personally, but manually for every user. But as we are using GitHub OAuth, so we can just set this as default. We don't have to worry about this field. So let's add that in the schema as well. So email verify, yes, and I will add a default, and that default will be now. So this will also work. Okay. So the authentication part is done. We don't have to worry about that. And now we will start working on our application. Before that, to access the user, we have to provide that as a session provider. So I think it should be here somewhere. Oh, I'm wrong. Okay. Mhm. Configuration, authentication methods. So to access this, okay, so this is just for the migrations and everything. This does not have that, but I think for this, uh okay, this is not defined here, but in the next auth, I think it was there. In the configuration, not options. Leave. Hmm, hmm, hmm. Let's start it. Yeah. So this is what I was searching for. So for getting the session throughout the application and throughout the components. So we have to wrap all the components inside session provider, which is provided by NextAuth. So we have to wrap this from there, and we have to pass the session which we will get from auth. So in this case, we will get it from the uh, auth function which we have created from the auth.ts. So from here we will get that. So for sorry. So yeah, from here we will get that. So we don't have to worry about that. So yeah, this session provider, we have to wrap our application inside. So let's do that. And let's create a layout file for this first. So this will be the layout for the protected route. Export the function. So here this will expect child child layout, and this children prop, not this child layout. Sorry for that. Okay, so this is okay. Also, I have to make this function async because we have to call the session, and that session function would be in the await function. We have that is a promise. We have to await for that. So that is why we will use it with async. So now with this, I have to call my auth function. So as in the documentation for when for in the JS migration, so this universal auth which it was talking about, so use auth function instead of all these functions. So we can just use this for this will be the single method which we can use, and we can authenticate the user anywhere. So whether it be on the server side, so we can use it uh, from this function. We can get the session. So this session will have the user values. So now what we have to do is we have to wrap our functions. I mean wrap our components in this session provider, and this session provider is basically imported from NextAuth. uh, NextAuth and React. Okay, so now let's add that session provider. Fine. And also we have to pass session. And now this will, take take the children and everything, whatever we want. So what I'll do here is I'll just add a main tag. Main tag. My emit is not working for this, so it's just. I think there is some issue due to which it is not working up correctly. But why? What is the problem here? Session provider refers to a value but is being used as a type here. Okay. Restricted. But this is not getting called from here. Going to that. Hmm. Where it is talking about. So that completely provider. I think it is doing the same thing. Uh, this is TSX. Yeah, this was the error. It was a simple, silly mistake which I was making. Okay, so this was this should be TSX as we are using JSX inside this, and that is why it was giving this error. So yeah, this so okay. So this is that this has this values over here. So now what we'll do is we'll add a header component so that we can show the user detail for now. Later on, we will improve that as well. So this has this share, I mean, the components from chat and we will not change that. So for creating anything else, we will create our own. So I'll maybe add as a shared folder. Inside this, I will have a header folder and index.tsx. Let's create that. Export const. I will use it export const. I'll use it as a normal component. And let's do one thing to to get the user from the session. So get it from we can get it from the hook from NextAuth. So NextAuth and React, and from there we can use session. So this hook will give us the user session data where we can get it from use session, and inside that it will have data as session and also status, but we don't need the status. We can use the session, and for that we have to also then I mean take it from session. So user will be here as we have mentioned it in the auth configuration. So if you see here, so in the session callback, we had this as a type of session, then user, and then the ID. So session and then user. So session has this value. So that is why we have to call it like this. We have to get it like this. So we'll get the user from here, and let's now add it on our use the semantic tag of header, and then we'll use no we'll just create a normal div. uh, this will have a user name, okay? And then we will add a button for sign out, but then we will add that afterwards. We don't want to do it now. I just wanted to show like the authentication flow is there, so I just wanted to do that. Or I'll maybe create that or the sign out functionality as well. I'll just have to get that function and we'll add a button from chat.cn. This will have a sign out and an on-click handler. I can just use it directly with this because we have to, make our component, uh, as client component. So let's do that and also fix the import. Mm, yeah, with this. So if I now see, if I use this component, I can use this in the layout, in the protected layout. So I just have to just import that. Do this. And if we see the application now, I have this the name, sorry, the name and the button, sign out button. If I sign out, I will be I'll be redirected to the main page, and if I then sign in, I will be redirected to feed, and I have the details of the user. So if we see in the console, we will have the user data as in the local storage as well. This keeps this keeps it directly like the tokens and all. And also I think it stores some values in cookie. So if you see uh, auth.js values are saved here. So these are automatically handled by NextAuth. We don't have to worry about those, and we don't have to add a check for that because we already added it in our middleware. So if the user is logged in, it will redirect the user to the uh, correct URL. If not, then it will just handle that situation as well. So we don't have to worry about that. So in this video, we'll be stopping now on the authentication. In the next video, we will start creating the functionality of adding snippets and updating the snippets, and also all other functionalities. We will start adding that. If you like this video, please subscribe to my channel for the future videos. And if you have any question or any query or any suggestion, please do write in the comments. Thank you.